Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Everton, host at the Truth Table. It's Wednesday, February 12th, 2025, and today's guests are the Mama Bears. And on the 30th, just to let you know in advance, there's an event at the um, Greg Fruin Theater in Niagara Falls, 5781 Ellen Street at 1:30 p.m. And there will be a show and then a question and answers. So I will show this again before we start. Um, but we're going to talk about what the Mama Bears do for parents, and they basically it's a project alternative schooling and resources to help parents make informed choices for their children. And there's nothing wrong with that, and there's definitely a need for it. But I will introduce you to my guest right after this. Now, every person has the right to their life and liberty and to the property that they justly acquire. As members of a country of free persons, we have entrusted governments with the duty of protecting those rights for every person. With that in mind, the principles every person has body, mind, and will of their own. This guarantees the right to live free from intimidation, coercion, threat, or attack from any person, regardless of their position. The right to hold their own personal beliefs and to express them in ways that do not harm the rights of others. The freedom to choose and to pursue their own goals while respecting their duty not to violate the rights of any other person. And the right to join with others to pursue their goals and to provide for themselves and their family. I'd like to welcome you two wonderful people that I've met a few years back. Um, I welcome them to the show. Barb and Pat, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure to be here today.
So there's a leftist Mama Bears out there.
Yes, we found out.
Yes, well, I found them. And I let you know right away on X. But I found it terrible. They're the absolute opposite. They are pro-trans, for
Yes.
kids, protecting kids. Like they're the opposite of the Mama Bears, and they dare to call themselves the real Mama Bears,
Yeah.
which is absolutely obscene. But we're not going to give them any more time than that, because I just wanted to let people know in case they accidentally go there, they're in the wrong place.
That's not
They
us.
see a pride flag, you're in the wrong place. Trust me.
That it's a name that a lot of groups have claimed, actually. Mama
Oh yeah.
Bears. Yeah, there are a few of them in the States as well.
Hmm.
And the ones that I'm aware of in the United States generally are reflecting our values too. They want to make sure that parents are getting the best information to make informed choices. So yeah. So most of us are on the right side, I would say.
Mm-hmm. So what started this for both of you?
Do you want me to start right from the beginning? Because Mama Bears hasn't
Sure.
been around all that long. It kind of popped up in the fall of 21. And I wasn't an original member. The person that founded it was part of Police on Guard. And Police on Guard felt that it was time because they were talking about introducing the COVID vaccine to kids. I think at that point it was 5-year-olds to 12-year-olds.
Oh, you're talking about
And
Vincent Gersey?
um,
Vincent
well,
Gersey?
Vincent was part of the Police on Guard movement, I believe, at that time, but it wasn't Vincent that um, uh, got Mamabears going. No.
Okay.
Actually, the gentleman that helped us is not involved anymore, and I never knew him. He just was helping at the very onset when Mamabears kind of took wings. And so, no. So the person that's actually in charge, and she still is Terry Hayter. And Terry was a member of Police on Guard. So she got things going. She got things off the ground. She had right away uh, probably about 40 followers and people that were helping her, and they started posting on social media. Not terribly organized yet. They weren't sure what their mission was, other than to help parents steer clear of the COVID vaccine for children, because at that point we already knew that children weren't very afflicted by COVID. If they got it, it was kind of a cold and they got over it, unless they were really compromised. So we were trying to steer parents away. So that's how it started, but I wasn't part of it at that point. I was kind of doing my own thing. And Barb and I had gone to some freedom movements together, and we talked a lot. But we didn't know about Mamabears. So in December of 2021, I was going out because pop-up clinics were happening, and they were vaccinating these kids. And I thought, okay, is this the hill you want to die on? I think it is. So I went out there armed with some information and tried to help parents make decisions. But I realized very quickly that they'd already made up their minds and you weren't going to change them. So, but there was an awful lot of feedback around what I was doing. And I always had somebody come with me, and so there were two of us because it was really cold and people were really hostile to what we were trying to do. So it was a live and learn kind of experience for us. So anyway, that kind of went on all through December. Every time there was a pop-up clinic, sometimes I had quite a few people come to help out. We did one at the Penn Center, and we took the pen by storm, and we all got thrown out. So that was and two of us got banned for life from visiting the Penn
Wow.
Center.
So do you
However,
have do you have locations of homeschoolers that for parents?
we don't. No, so what we do is we research information. We're not experts ourselves, we're researchers, and we have a lot of very reliable sources that we go to, and Children's Health Defense has been one of them. They've been probably the biggest. Epoch Times has been wonderful. Their reporting has been very honest and unbiased throughout COVID. So, but as you know, there's a ban on, we can't use media posts. So when we want to put something from Epoch Times, we have to be very sneaky about it. We can post
Yeah,
it. We have to be convoluted. Yeah. So
and
those are
it's
two sources.
it's
Um,
certainly a sign that we have a tyrannical government,
oh yeah.
and hopefully, what's happening in the states will open up the doors for Canadians and to
Yes.
poison in the food and the vaccines with Robert Kennedy Jr. So I
Yes.
mean, I'm kind of optimistic with that. But
Mhm.
like you, I'm a researcher too, and all I wanted to do is play piano. And look at me now.
And you probably never get time to play piano. I'm an artist. I haven't done a painting in a
Oh
year.
no. Oh no, I have
It's
it close.
starving.
It's very close to me. It
Okay.
never leaves my side. No, it's my
That's
medicine, really.
wise. Yes.
Without
Yes.
it, I don't think I would have survived all of this because I'm pretty uh, empathetic. I'm an
Yes.
empath, so when people suffer around me, I suffer with them, which is not a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
It's
But I
not.
suppose I suppose it's required for these day kind of things we're been going through.
It's required. It helps you kind of settle in as to where the truth is in any
Yeah,
situation too. It helps you with that. sort of
And when you
discern.
care about people, you want to find solutions, and they are out there. I mean, there are answers. There are
Mhm.
a lot of medical, documents and peer-reviewed that can be found if you care enough to look. But it
Yes,
takes time. It does take time and patience, and I think caring about our fellow man is why we do this. I don't think we would
absolutely.
bother. We just want to live and be left alone. But we're really not that kind of person.
We're not, and if we try to be, we're compromising ourselves if we try to run away from it.
Yeah.
So you can't live with yourself that way.
Yeah.
So
And
you have to pursue what has been landing in your lap. You have to
yeah.
pursue. Yeah.
And I refuse to be bought. I can't be bought, which is good. Maybe $1 million.
No offers though, eh?
No offers.
No, no offers. No, no, no. I am looking for future wife with 1 foot in the grave and $1 billion in the bank. But
Well, good
but
luck with
jokes
that.
aside, Mama Bears is a serious thing, and it's about helping parents, right?
Yes, yes, and we realized, parent people are becoming young parents, new parents all the time, and not necessarily equipped or with a lot of surrounding people to give them good advice. And just for instance, Barb and I went out this year for Grape and Wine Festival,
Mhm.
and we had so much fun. We just handed out cards. We just ran around the people that were lined up with their families and enjoying it. We just said, "Hey, we're Mama Bears. Did you know we existed?"
Yeah, they were
And
very receptive.
oh my God.
Very receptive.
And what are you guys all about? Oh, I love that. Oh, you have information. And we probably picked up about 25 people through that next couple of weeks, just, because they were curious and they signed up. Yeah. So, it's very, very necessary. Sometimes, we post and we post and we have a national site on Facebook and we have a national on Instagram where we have a lot of followers. Instagram, we're up to 5,000 and more followers. That's pretty good for a low key organization without any
Yeah.
funding.
Mhm.
And on our Facebook national site, we are climbing to 2,500. So,
Oh,
you know, yeah. But Barb and I are both with the local Niagara. So it's identical to the other sites. We post all the same information, but the benefit of having a Niagara site is that we can put local stuff in too.
yeah.
Um, things that are really relevant
Yep.
just in this area. So that's kind of
I
nice.
I
And we also, sorry,
I
Paul,
found you
I
on
was just going to
X.
say, we have another site just recently in Nova Scotia.
Oh, well, I found you on X. You said that it's not active, but you know, I did find a lot of good material here. Information. What an advogent is. And how about an antigen? I mean, you're asking the right questions. And the FDA ignored residual DNA fragments in the Gardasil. My God, what an absolute crime against the children of God. I mean, that's the way I see it. I see it as a real evil thing, a spiritual war. Oh, you're muted. I don't hear you anymore. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Uh-oh. I'm not sure why that's happening. I can't hear you either. Let me see if I can. I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to see if I can hear you and myself on our live on Facebook. Yep, I can hear myself. I can hear myself. It's you. all your fault. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe it was the real mama bears that got you. So, mama bears, um, alternative schooling and resources to help parents make informed decisions for their children. They can be found on X with lots of material that you can find things that really aren't allowed in on Facebook because the Canadian government blocking all the the information like this, aluminum in the body after injection. And this is all about being informed. Now, we saw coercion happening, and it was a little scary. Now, also, Mama Bears can be found on Facebook, as they said. This is the event that's happening on Sunday, March 30th at 1:30 p.m. Doors open at 12:45. They have 5 guest speakers, including a couple of doctors. The Greg Fruin Theater in Niagara Falls. Let's see if we can hear them now.
Can you hear
Now
us? We can hear you.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
super.
So I
Excellent.
went on to Facebook to our live, and I could hear myself. So
Okay,
it was
super.
it was you that went dead there on your sound.
Oh, we went dead.
We went dead?
Oh, because we couldn't hear you either.
Yeah, that's strange.
It was probably real mama bears.
It could have
Maybe,
been
yeah.
sabotage.
They had enough of all this truthiness.
Yeah. Thanks for putting the poster up.
That'll be enough truthing for you two.
Yeah, there's only so
with
much
our
the
mama.
traffic can bear.
That's right. We're looking
Yeah.
forward to our event. Paul, thanks for sharing the poster. And we look forward to everyone that can join us on the 30th at the Greg Fruin Theater in Niagara Falls. If you wish tickets, you can either go to the Greg Fruin site or you can email mamabearsniagara at gmail.com and then we can send you the link. But we're looking forward to having various different speakers that are going to offer a Q&A panel after the film screening, the 2-hour film screening. And we may have a few vendors there as well. And it's going to be a great day. So we've already gotten some great feedback and people interested that have bought tickets already, and it can house a lot of people. And it's a very important movie that I think everybody should see. It is a documentary by the people for the people. It was created in 2024. Brian Burrows is the Canadian director in conjunction with Polly Tommy, and they cruise on a bus across the States for about a 9-month period and getting people's stories with regards to the COVID effects and how it affected them and their loved ones. And it's something that we need to hear because I think every community has experienced something with regards to the COVID vaccine after effects, and it would be a good thing for people to attend. I know people personally that have been affected.
Everybody does.
And there are 2 other movies prior to this third in the documentary series. And those are very good movies to see as well. So we hope many people will join us.
And this is the third movie, eh?
Yes, is the third one.
As we know, what happened to us happened all over the world. This was
Absolutely.
a globalist event, and they basically, when they start a race, they have a gun. Well, the gun to start the race was when they used a DEW, direct energy weapon, against the Georgia Guidestones. which it was the Ten Commandments. 500 million people, no more in perpetuity with nature. So their plan was written out.
It was
there.
written, and I
It
think
was,
it was a
yes.
Rothschild. I was there. I visited the Georgia Guidestones while they were still guiding.
Really? Wow.
Yes, yes,
Well,
they were monolithic.
Yeah, yep. Monoliths and different languages because they wanted everyone to understand. So they destroyed them because it was over. They gave us time to understand it, what the plan was. Then they destroyed it, and that's when it was launched. And Trump, he's been financed and brought from under a rock by the Rothschilds. When he went bankrupt, they were always there for him, and so he's there for them too. I don't know how much he knows, but we don't need to get into Trump because I believe
that's a sticky topic.
it is.
Yeah,
I do like him. I've always liked him. I enjoyed his show, The Apprentice. The Apprentice showed us that his children respected him, that his staff respected him, that he gave opportunity to people, that he has class. His building is like, he is the new Cyprus. Now he's talking about taking Gaza, and that'll be 51st state. He's the builder. He's Cyprus. He's gonna build a third temple, and I'm sure he could do it very quickly. But he's important. He's an important part of this what we're going through. Like, he is making it happen.
He's got a great team. He's pulling a great team together, and unfortunately, they're having some very great difficulties in getting their roles on track here.
So much embedded in the system. It's decades of embedding.
He is fulfilling one of the 10 commandments of the Georgia Guidestones to get rid of useless laws, and he is fulfilling it. No matter what, and it says rule over what was it again? Pregnancy, paternity. Yeah, let me see if I can't find it really quick because I'm pretty sure I posted it. Yeah, here it is. It says.
I have it too.
Let's see. Yeah, well, that didn't help too much, but it says rule, passion, faith, tradition. So it's basically saying dictate,
Yes. Yeah.
Rule means,
there you go.
Yeah, rule means dictate.
Yes. Yeah.
Protect people and nations with fair laws. So they're going to change the laws and the rules.
Yep.
Let all nations rule internally. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. That's what he's doing right now.
Yes.
Doing this. So he is fulfilling the Rothschilds who financed his career.
Yes.
He's fulfilling what they want. He is pro-Israel, which is fine. I mean, I'm pro all people. So I don't believe in what happened to Gaza. People in Gaza. I think that's wrong. He's saying, well, it's all destroyed. They can't live there anyway. It's like, yeah, well, you gave them the weapons to do this.
Right.
Yes. So what are you talking about? You destroyed their houses. You gave them carpet bombs and phosphorus, like totally against international laws, against these poor people. When we're seeing a genocide and they're justifying it because it's something, the Jews long ago. It's like, we promised to never do this again. After that, we promised this is never going to happen again, but it is. But it is a part of this. He's going to rebuild Gaza. He's going to do the third temple, and we're going to have our second coming, and it's all right before us. So at least we know in the end, all suffering is going to end. No more tears, no more death. And this is the worst part. We're going through the worst. It's going to keep getting worse, but then it's going to end.
Well, let's hope so.
And we're part of the Rainbow Warriors, is the the Hokie ancient Hokie people. And it's funny that our enemies, like the rainbow people,
Yes.
the trans flag. So it's just weird how it goes together that the rainbow warriors are the ones to, to help everyone in the end. So we're like rainbow warriors, but we want the rainbow to stay in the sky. We don't want it in the sidewalk.
Right. But don't you think that also was seized? That title was seized for that purpose
Yes.
Yeah,
because of its
absolutely.
meaning? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a direct disrespect to the first covenant.
Mhm.
God's promise to never flood the earth again. But
Yeah.
it wasn't just to humans. It was to animals too, fish, beasts,
Yes.
all living, everything that's living. And that would probably even, I don't know if that would include the plants, because I consider them living too. But
They are.
all living animals and humans fall under this covenant of the rainbow. So I respect that covenant, and to see it on the crosswalk for people to walk on is just spitting on Genesis. It's just spitting on that covenant. It's disrespectful.
Mhm.
So yes. But
Yeah.
that's so significant because that the upheaval that we've seen in the last 4 years, 5 years, was a flip of everything. It was like the switch was flipped, and right up was down, and right was wrong, and wrong was right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
Physics,
know,
like 9/11, that's against physics for fire to do that. Because
exactly.
you've got
Yes.
solid steel.
And all those engineers knew that.
It all knew it because, if one drops, it just stops because there's so much strength on each floor, between each floor. That's impossible for that to
Mhm.
happen. And Building
Right.
7 had a lot of evidence. What they did, what it was a gold heist.
Oh, you think so?
All the gold was gone because a lot of gold was underneath those buildings and in vaults and that. It was gone, all of it. Trudeau, when he came to office, what did he do? He sold all our gold. So now
I've heard that.
This gets into another ancient archaeological find, the Sumerian tablets, how they came for the gold. So this is perhaps us giving them the gold that we have, so fulfilling our contract, because they would have had appointed the royals, the royal families, the people in charge, and they had a duty to fulfill. And one of that duty of that the ancient tablets was to give them gold. So
Yeah.
that's just my research, because I research a lot of different things, the
Yeah.
Dead Sea Scrolls and the Bible and the Quran and the Gita. I'm aware because I want to know everything. I want to know everything, and as I dug deeper and deeper, they kind of merged together like a pizza, like a painting. Like each one is a color and a painting, and as you get more information, it becomes a picture. And that's what it seems like in the Tower of Babel, when the languages were separated, also the knowledge was separated and divided.
Yes.
That's why all the religions say, they're evil, the Quran is evil, and Christians are evil, and they pin us against each other because they don't want us talking to each other.
No, they don't.
They don't want us sharing our
Mhm.
books with them. That's what
They
I
don't want
feel.
community or unity at all.
And that's what I feel.
Mhm.
I feel like I said, God just told me to look, seek, and you'll find. And sure enough, that's what's been going on. And it's exciting because I love talking about it. It's my favorite topic. And I don't consider myself a religious man. I consider myself very spiritual and spiritually in tune, and aware that there is a creator, and the creator's in us, which I love. Luke 17:20 and 21. The kingdom of heaven cannot be seen by observation. The kingdom of heaven is within you.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love, that's my favorite. I mean, it's on my info, on my profile, and because it's like such a beautiful thing to share with everyone. It's like, stop looking over here, stop praying up. It's right inside of you.
It's right here,
Yes.
here and
Not
now.
far.
Yes. Yeah. It's not
I know.
remote. I mean, I think
Mhm.
that distance that was created was done so by man to
Mhm.
keep us apart from our internal wisdom, our internal origin, our
Yeah.
source, our creator. It was to keep a moat between us
Yeah. It
Mhm.
and
keeps
keep
going.
humanity from discovering their own spirituality and their own godliness.
And how powerful we can
And I
be.
think that battle is
Mhm.
reaching a height right now.
It's nearing the end. I think
Yeah.
COVID, their way of scientifically stealing our soul
Yeah.
because of the light of the firefly that's used. You can't put a light because God has, a light in us, which connects us to God and to each other, even and to
Hmm.
Jesus. And that's why he's God, because he's connected to all of us too. So we're all the children of God. I mean, it all makes sense to me. It's just the churches aren't really telling us what we need to hear, you know. But I
You know,
will. I
it's
will tell you what a priest won't tell you. My Thursday meetings in the morning are with all ministers, pastors, and I go in there and I'm like a bull in a china shop. And that's because they have so much influence over their congregations. It's so important that they
absolutely.
tell the truth. So if I give it to them, if I show them exactly where it is, they can't unknow that. And they have to be humbled. They have to say, okay, I was wrong. Now I have to tell my congregation I'm wrong. And it's a pride thing. They have to deal with that. But to me, it's the most important thing they could do is just let that pride go. Be humility,
Be
use
humble.
humility, be
Yeah.
humble, and share that new knowledge with your congregation. Empower them with prayer. Like I've had 2 shows just on how to pray properly because we're not being
Wow.
taught how to pray properly.
No. No.
No,
Religion has been thrust out of
it
the
has.
learning institutions. There's
Yeah,
no shred of
yeah,
religion any longer.
There's a lot
and
of unlearning and relearning to
yeah,
happen
Mhm.
going
but
forward.
that's what a rainbow warrior does. That's what
Mhm.
you do. You're there to help parents and to save their children, to protect their children. And homeschooling is one way, but still, there's still crazy people outside. We do have an army that's been brought into our country. They're not friendlies. And
No.
I remember I went into a community center, and it was. I'm not racist, but they were all Africans. They were all together. They all had mobile phones, and they were in a food bank. It's like, how can you have a cell mobile phone with internet and be in a food bank? You know,
Yeah.
their priority, and they all had the phones. They were all like this. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
you're just using our
Y-
resources here,
Yeah.
taking advantage. They got their money when they came here. I think it was like $4,000 or something each. So they bought their phones right away. And
Mhm.
Well,
I'm
their
sorry.
phones are their tools. I mean, I do believe that a lot of there were a number of reasons why we were flooded, why they flooded up through the southern border and into Canada, and why our government made it so easy. It was so facile to bring all these people in without any plan, without any real help for them when our citizens were struggling. So it created a lot of animosity.
It
They knew that would happen. Our government knew that
It
would
should have
happen.
never happened.
No, and it is a part of a war against us.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
And the COVID shot was like a spiritual war, because if you inject a light inside of us, that's why they had to have it like minus 50 degrees. It's like sustaining the light, sustaining the life of the light. So it had to be really, really cold. Like, what do you call that? Cryos? Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you freeze yourself,
Cryo something.
like the Disney guy
Yeah, yeah.
Michael Jackson.
freezing himself. Michael Jackson that was a
Yeah,
big thing for a while.
it
But
was.
that's how.
Cryogenics.
But that's why it says also in the Bible that the light ascends forever and ever. The smoke of the light of the lamp shines no more in thee, and
Ah,
is forever and ever. That's because when they inject the light of the firefly, the light that's in us won't share space with another light. It's a jealous God.
oh, yeah.
So when they inject that light, our light goes in a puff of smoke. Like when you blow out a candle, there's smoke. That's why it says the smoke ascends forever and ever. So they found a way to steal our souls. And yeah.
Well, they did that on a real basic biological level too,
Yep.
injecting toxins that would change the shape of our genetics,
Yep.
as we are now finding out.
Yep. Well, GMO food is a part of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely been a war. But you imagine the potential that's been stolen from us. I would say since we were born, we've never had 432 music because they changed that in
Right.
1950. So
Right.
they made sure music could no longer heal us. And, that was an act of war. It really was. There's no other reason to
But
do
there's
that.
nothing stopping people from bringing that back.
Yeah.
Like
And
within
I
your
do.
community, you can do
You
that.
can do that.
Right?
And I do. My,
Mhm.
it's weird. I can't hear my music. It's really quiet. That is 432.
That's 432. Yeah. It's very calming, Paul.
But it's meant to heal.
Yes.
It's also a spiritual weapon to fight back. So if someone listens to this podcast, they're getting blessed and they don't even know it.
You
So
don't even know. It's the bonus that
we
comes
have to
along.
look. Yeah. But I mean, the devil's the god of timbrel. He's the god of music. So he knows very well that changing the frequency would affect us. And then that goes even with clothes. Like linen is 5,000 megahertz. The body is 100 megahertz. But when you use polyester with linen, it goes down to 15. 15 megahertz is the same as a sick body or a dead body.
Boy.
So that's why it says twice in the Bible, Leviticus and Deuteronomy both say not to mix linen and wool together. Now,
No,
linen
they
and
cancel each other out.
They do, but they're the only ones that are 5,000 megahertz.
Yeah.
So when
Wow.
they're wearing tunics, when Jesus wore all linen tunic, he was 5,000 megahertz of boom. And that's how they maximize their spiritual life. So everything that we could be was stolen. All our potential, everything. Look at the cathedrals. That's our potential. That's what we
Yeah.
can. If you look at the World Fairs hundreds of years ago, built in 2 months, it's impossible. We couldn't do that today. Today we build square houses.
Oh,
You know?
What's
artless.
exciting though is there's going to be a World Fair coming.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to celebrate 250 years, I believe.
Oh, is
In
it?
the States, yeah, it's going to be happening.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something to look forward to. A World
Yeah.
Fair in the States. Yeah.
In New York City?
I'm not sure where the location is going to be, but it is going to be in the States, and it's supposed to be spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I had no intention to go off topic today.
Oh, have we gone off topic?
I think I'm like a train that just gets derailed, and I just end up going anyway,
Well,
What your
if
project?
you'd like to get back to Mamabears, we can do that.
Please. Yes, please. You'll have to bring me back. Put me back on the track.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So I think maybe what we want to talk about, is some of the positives that have happened over the period of time that I've been with Mamabears, because shortly after I became involved, and then Barb came in, Barb went to Ottawa. I didn't get to go. I was so bummed. I was sick and I couldn't go over that period of time. But I got out of my sick bed to wave them goodbye and hold a flag and cheer them on. So Mamabears kind of took shape during that Ottawa, because They had a booth. They grew in size. They grew in number. People were ready to hear our message, ready because we had done a lot of work on the COVID vaccine. And we were encouraging parents in every way to just wait. That's our motto. It's just wait.
Mm-hmm.
Wait until you see. Wait until the reports come out. Wait until you deem whether this is safe or not. And I think a lot of parents did wait as a result. And we're happy about that, but a lot of people didn't. So we had to address that too. So on our website, we actually had a very nice talk that was given to address people who had made the wrong decision for their children and not to be plagued by guilt because they didn't know and they were coerced and they were lied to. So to take the future from that point and to forgive yourself and do the best you can for your children from here on in, and let that be a lesson learned.
Mm-hmm.
So, we tried to respond to all the things that we thought people were going through as they were going through them. And it's led us to this point where vaccines again have reared their head, but it's not the COVID vaccine this time, it's the childhood vaccines. And so much information is coming out now in form of studies. There have been a number of studies that have done comparing vaccinated children to children that have never been vaccinated. And those kids can be found in some of the Amish communities. And there are communities of families that just have chosen not
That's
to
Paul
vaccinate.
Thomas, isn't it? Dr. Paul Thomas?
Paul Thomas did the
Mhm.
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did the first one. And my gosh, he did a great job.
Did.
I don't know if you're familiar with Paul Thomas, Paul, but he was a pediatrician. He had a huge practice. I forget what state he was in, but it doesn't matter. So he was able,
Illinois.
because he had so many children coming through his practice and so many parents, he was able to offer them something that not very many pediatricians will do. And that is, he gave them information. He said, you need to have informed consent. And if you choose not to vaccinate, I will keep you in my practice and we'll work together. And not very many pediatricians will do that. There's so many stories of families who said, well, I'm wary of these vaccines, doctor. And the doctor will say, well, if you don't have them, you're putting your child at risk and you're putting all the children around them at risk and your child will die. And they say horrible things.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kick them out of their practices. Not all doctors, but there are a lot of stories where people have had to leave practices because they won't vaccinate. So Paul Thomas said, no, this is a perfect opportunity because these parents have chosen not to vaccinate. I'll record them. I'll see how their children's health is as they go along. So the study that he did was large numbers of children, over 2,000 children.
Was it 10 years?
10 years ago? No.
Was it for a 10-year study? I think?
No, it wasn't 10 years. No. But it was a longitudinal study.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a 6-month study.
No.
But he took a point in time and he looked at his vaccinated children, usually younger ones, to see how many hospital incidents they'd had, how many times the parents have to take them to hospital for asthma or, being ears are one of the worst, children have such ear pain and they have to have these tubes put in their ears. Well, his vaccinated kids had practically his unvaccinated kids had no incidents of these things. Very, very low incidence. So it was first.
There's zero autism in the Amish community. They don't vaccinate.
Exactly.
That's right. So
Exactly.
That's proof enough.
Yes.
Proof enough.
That's
Yes.
proof enough.
That's the whole thing. There's a financial involvement with doctors. They get, financial incentives to do it.
Every vaccine they give is incentivized.
And
That's
they
how
get
make
mad
their
at you
money.
if you question. I know when
Yeah.
I went to my pediatrician when my kids were little and I questioned, he got really irate. Enough to really set me off, and I left.
But I mean,
Mhm.
I've said this before, but 3 of my children died after being vaccinated when they
Oh
were
my
babies.
gosh, yeah.
So when that happened,
That's tragic.
I started looking into what is in them.
Yes.
But I didn't just look at one. I looked at all of them, and all of them to me are obscene. They all do
Yes.
harm. I looked at the ingredients one by one. One aluminum. What does aluminum do? It weakens your immune system. How is that beneficial? Why would you do something like that unless you want to do harm? It's
That's
like medically taking a baseball bat to a baby.
That's right.
That's how
That's right.
powerful we are. That they do that. They poison. So that's what it took for me to get right in there, because God helps me when I research it. He really does.
Well, you want to know. You do a deep dive. You want to know what caused this. And
That's
these are
right.
your children.
God helps me with everything. Like
Yeah.
if I want to know about God, God helps me. He says, read that book, read that book, read that book. And but I have to use discernment. Like there is some editing that's been going on. The Council of Nicaea, they have taken books out, and
Yes.
so I don't like being manipulated, and that's what they have done to us. So that's why I started going to a church group, with ministers and pastors. It's not just a men's group, but these are guys all have churches. So I thought that was important for me to go there and share what I learned with them. Now, if someone did take the shot, there are things that you can do. Nattokinase will inhibit spike protein.
Yep.
So that is one way to do now. The other thing is the black seed oil, which will help with the clotting. So there are things you can do to help. What I've found out from other nurses is that they didn't do the protocols properly. Like the vials had to be a certain temperature. They had to be like minus 50, or I don't know. Ridiculous how cold it had to be.
Yes,
Anyway,
minus 70 or something like that.
Yeah, crazy temperature.
Yeah.
Insane, but because it's like freezing the light, keeping the light alive. So and
Right.
I heard that wasn't happening. So
It didn't happen.
So not everyone got that light. So a lot of souls were saved because of incompetence at this point. Thank God for the incompetence. But the nurses said, they were leaving the vials out, and right away the light will go out. So even though they're getting the spike protein and they're getting the mRNA, which can control your emotion and make you happy and own nothing, that's what that's all about. mRNA is what they want everyone to have, because they can control our emotion. The luciferase
mRNA, though, has been around since the 60s. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's been around for decades.
It has, but it's never kills the animal. So I mean, they couldn't really use it on.
This is the first time they've used it on mass humanity.
But they're injecting it into pork and pigs, and they want to make sure everyone gets this particular thing, even if they can't steal our soul. They want to control our emotions.
Yeah.
Well, they want to make you docile and complacent, so that they can transition. I mean, this is a very diabolical direction that humanity is going in, and is going that way through tech, the tech gurus, the tech oligarchs, because they know no bounds. They don't stop at should we do this or not. It's can we do this? If we can do this, let's do it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And so we've become the resource. They're mining us just like you would use animals and chattel. And that's what humanity has become to them, experimental a resource to try things out on.
Hence the name Human Resources.
Yes.
In various different companies.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
money can buy a lot too. And the Rothschilds, they funded both sides of every war. So they've got more money than they need. And so they can buy, mostly everybody's got a price, especially in the, technical and scientific community. And that a lot of doctors say, well, if you see some of the checks that these doctors got, if they do 100, they get this much. If they get 1,000, they get this. And it's
they're incentivized.
Money. Big money, though. Big.
Yeah.
To do.
But but doctors come into it with the objective of making big money. They have to lay out big money, depending on what kind of practice they have. So they have big expenses. Medical school isn't cheap. So they're behind the eight ball to start with. And then if they get promised, you'll make magnanimous amounts of money if you do this, this, and this, and if you follow this protocol. So what are they going to do? They're over a barrel. They have debts. They're going to do it. And then they're caught. Then they find they can't turn around. I mean, I think a few doctors, look at the ones that stood up. Look at Dr. Hoff, who just got his license back.
That's right.
I mean, that's a wonderful victory that happened. I never thought he would see that. So, I mean, a lot of good doctors, Dr. Trosi, who's still battling. So many nurses walked away from their jobs because they refused to harm people.
Yeah, I did ask
So
Dr.
we're lucky that the light didn't go out in these people.
I did ask Dr.
Oh,
Trosi.
we can't hear you, Paul.
Lost you again. We can see you, but we can't hear you.
Okay, I'm going to test it. I'm
Sign
going to see.
language.
We can't hear you.
I'm going to see if it's me or you. Let's see.
Put it in the chat.
I'm looking.
Put in the chat.
I'm watching live,
I wonder what happens.
I don't know.
and my mic is good.
Are there any comments?
I can hear you too. I don't know why you can't hear me. That's really strange. We're glitching. It's probably the real mama bears that are doing this. All right, let's see if we get everybody.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So I can hear that side.
We're back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, we changed sides. That's okay.
That's good.
It's good to switch it up.
That's crazy. It's like the devil is trying to stop us.
I think so. We're true speakers.
Yeah,
True
but
seekers and true speakers.
they have to kill me because I'm God is a part of my life and protects me. And I don't have any fear. I don't have any fear. And this is how we talk when we're in person.
Yes, it
When
is.
We're together. We're the same. We're not different. We're not pretending. We're being as real as. And I try to do that with all the shows. I just talk the truth, talk from the heart.
Yeah.
And God gets in there a lot because that's like my favorite topic. So if I can get God in there, I do it with excitement. Because to me, it is exciting. The more you know, the more it all makes sense to you. And the closer you feel to God and the easier it is to pray.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think everybody throughout this time, Paul, has had some sense of reconnection with whatever their concept of God is. And I think we're all capable of having a concept. We express it and we understand it a little bit differently from the next person. That's all. But I think over this past 4 or 5 years, people have really reconnected with that synergy with God, the Creator.
I think so. And I'll do whatever I can to help. I've had 4 or 5 shows just on the Bible and understanding, and even the Quran and the Vatican and like just everything I can get everything that I think is important. Like, I think this topic is important. The mom bears is very important, and it's a part of all of what we're going through. It's an important part, to because a lot of new parents don't have any information. They don't
That's right.
know what to do, and they're just trusting the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
they get the wrong doctor, they could lose their child, like I did. It can happen. But I mean, don't mourn for me, because I don't see them as dead. I see them as eternal souls. They were
Yes.
holy and in the purest form and without sin, and I'm going to see them again. I'm
Yes.
just lonely without them. But
Yes.
I
You
don't
miss the children you didn't get to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you will.
I know we're getting close to the end, so I know I'm going to see them soon. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the Bible to play out, and we get our, we're restored. And when we're restored, the spike proteins are poof gone. Stuff like that. But I can't wait for my new body. I hope my new body has a better nose.
Well, you can have that taken care of.
I can, but I can't. I've gone to a plastic surgeon, and they can't get that stupid look off my face.
Why would you want to alter your perfect face,
I'm
Paul?
just saying. And and I should know better, but I can't help it. Self-deprecation, you really shouldn't do it.
Yeah, but it keeps us fixated. Just forget about it.
Love yourself the way
Yeah,
you
The
are.
way you are. You're perfect the way you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. When we self-deprecate, it hurts us indirectly, spiritually, because the word is so powerful. God is
Spelling,
the word.
yeah.
Like Jesus is the word.
Mhm.
He's the word. And so I take his word seriously, definitely. But people misinterpret, because he says don't. He said, I think it was Matthew 17. I could be wrong, but they said, did we not heal in your name? Did we not, bring people back to life in your name? And he says, don't do that. Don't do it in my name. Do it to my Father, not to me.
Oh.
He said, and he every time he healed someone, he says, I didn't heal you. You were healed by your own faith, because they believed in God because of him, because of what he could do. It empowered their own faith so much that they were able to heal themselves, and they just weren't aware of it. So, and that's where the church kind of misleads us, is they get us all constantly saying, in Jesus' name and in the blood of Jesus. It's like, no. Go right to God. Say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you. You could say, thank you, God, for the wisdom of your son. Thank you, God, for you know what I mean? But just never do in his name. Like, I bless you in his name, in Jesus. And that's the church does it constantly. And I get so frustrated, because it's right in the book. It's right there. And they just well, we'll just forget about this piece.
Yeah, but Paul, that over the millennium, that religion has been altered for gain of control of people, just like government. Religion is one of the biggest tools that they've used to keep people down and keep people ignorant and uneducated. I'm not bad mouthing the church, because I think in its purest form, it has a lot of good that it can do, and the truth is embedded in it, but they don't tell the truth, or they edit it to their own usage. And I mean, nothing. We know that.
Yeah, I proved it. I started translating from the original Hebrew. And,
what a job! Wow.
Yeah, well, when I first started, it was like, I don't feel comfortable. What is it? And and just I was compelled, like through my faith, just look at the translation, and it's like God's like always there, always helping me. But it says right here, Matthew, did I say 17?
Yes. Yeah.
17. Oh, it's Matthew 7. Oh, I'm going to hell. It says, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name? And then he says to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. See, so he is very clear. Don't do it in my name. That's like, to me, the most important verse for every priest out there. Stop it. Because people repeat what you're saying and they start doing it. They mimic you,
Yes. Yeah. And that's part of the weakness of human beings too, because for the most part, we want to look up to somebody. We don't want to be the leader. I mean, some people want to be the leader, but I think they're the people who are not cut out to be leaders, that want to be leaders. They're the wrong people for the part. However, even somebody who comes to leadership pretty pure and with great intentions can become so corrupted in that position. It's so difficult to be a leader. It's so difficult.
It's true.
Yeah.
It does boost the ego for a priest, and even a pope, having people kiss your hand and
exactly
pampered and spoiled and all these
and flattered.
Yeah.
Flattery is a big part of it. And before you know it, you're you're kind of putty in somebody's hands who are trying to manipulate you. You don't realize as the leader you've been manipulated. And, to a great extreme, I'm going to go back and talk about Trump, because I think Trump, even though he comes across as a strong man, I think he's easily manipulated because he wears his weaknesses very externally. And so clever people can manipulate him. And that's what I fear about him. But, he said when he was campaigning, and I thought this was great. I have never heard any leader say this before. I'm not your savior. He said that. I don't know if anybody else remembers him saying that. And I thought, wow, I'm not your savior. That's a humbling statement. I mean, so, but a lot of people.
I've heard him say, I'm the chosen one.
And that's contrary.
But I agree with him. I think he is. I'm not saying he's Christ or God. I'm just saying he's supposed to be there.
Yeah. Okay. In that sense, yes. I think he's the right person for the time. But he has great power to do the right thing, or to take us down a hellhole. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm worried about, because he's got his Achilles heels, like any leader, like any of us, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But coming back to some of the things that you were saying, we get started on the topic of your nose and having adjustment. Oh, there he is. I don't know what he's saying. He's saying, I'm not your savior.
Is it too quiet?
I can't hear him.
We're not hearing what he's saying.
Okay, yeah, it's too quiet. That's all.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Nope. I don't think we can hear it.
I'm the chosen one.
Oh, is that what he's saying?
He said, I'm the chosen one.
I'm the chosen one?
Chosen.
Oh. Oh, boy. Yikes.
How old is that?
I agree.
No, that's recent.
It's not that old.
Yeah, it's recent.
Well, he was chosen for being number 47.
He was, yes.
Right. So he is the chosen one.
Yeah, he's chosen in that regard. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But to me, he is He is the chosen one, and he knows it, and that's okay. And that's okay. I don't mind that we all have our part in this. I like him, so I'm not trying to, make him the bad guy.
No,
He's going to.
no, there are
He's
enough
going.
people that are doing that.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
absolutely.
looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next 6 months or sooner. Time will tell.
Well, he sure pulled back the curtain, hasn't he?
He sure has. Yeah. A lot have been exposed
Yeah.
to the date, and it's making people question. That I think that's one main thing he's doing is making people question. Kennedy's making people question, and that's the silver lining of COVID is that people are questioning the COVID vaccine. They're questioning the other childhood vaccines and other vaccines. They're questioning health in general. We are responsible for being our own doctors. Basically, we shouldn't be letting a white coat make our decisions, and hopefully more I think more parents are aware of that, and for taking care of their loved ones and themselves, they have to do the research and they have to look after themselves. I really honestly think that's a huge awareness right now.
I mean, we've got the tools.
Yeah.
Living in this
Yeah.
century, we've got access to all the research. You could possibly, you could never read it all.
No, it's hard.
So
In about 1990. Sorry.
What's that?
In about 1990 is when I started doing the translating. I just prayed.
Oh.
I said, I want to know the truth. Help me. That was my prayer, basically. So here we go. The first Hebrew word in the Bible, they translate as in the beginning, right?
yes.
But Rashith, although in the beginning, in Hebrew is tequila. You see this?
Okay.
Tequila. Tequila.
Willa.
But I'm just saying that in Hebrew, there is a word for in the beginning. It's not
Okay.
Rashith. So the first Hebrew word in the Bible is Rashith. It's not in the beginning.
Oh, so what does Rashif mean?
Yeah.
It means before. So it changes the whole. It changes
Yes, it
the
does.
structure of the
Yes.
sentence.
Yes.
So I'll go right to where, I did, you see all my work here. But I mean, this is all love for humanity, love for God, and just wanting the
Oh my
truth.
God, Paul.
So-
That's amazing.
That's your translations?
My translation is before Elohim. Now, the other thing is Elohim. Elohim fashioned the firmament and the land. The land was without form and in ruin, and darkness was upon the face of the abyss. Ruach of the Elohim moved above the face of the abyss. Now, in our Bible, it says the Spirit of God hovered above the face of the waters, right?
Yes.
But Ruach was taken out. Why did they take Ruach out? Well, I'm going to go up here to Ruach because this is the most fascinating. This freaked me right out because I thought, oh my God, Ruach is a female.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which aligns it with the Sumerian tablets because it was a female that changed us, made us in their image. See how amazing that is? They've got the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. That's what we get. That's all we get.
Okay.
But that's not what it says. Yes. And other versions, I've got all different versions, but Ruach.
Yeah. Well,
Ruach.
well, some of those are some of those versions what they refer to as the Gnostic Bible
No.
scriptures.
No, I went right to the Hebrew, but yeah, there are different versions, and I have three different versions. I have, the Talmud version, and I want to know everything, right? Everything I can find out. But the thing about Ruach is, I looked it up, and it's a feminine noun. It's a woman, and that's what the church removed. They removed the women.
They removed the women.
Yeah. What they're trying to do now. Okay.
Yeah. And isn't that interesting? Because I mean, in primitive society, in primitive religions, they didn't really understand the process of a woman giving birth, how the seed was planted. They didn't understand that.
And
So
El
they thought women just generated babies on their own, which is a
Yep.
huge power.
El means deity.
Okay.
You look at Superman, all their names had El in it,
Oh, yeah.
like Jor-El.
Okay.
Everyone was
Okay.
El. So, and they
Yeah.
were deities. They were actually like biblical deities. They were like the Sumerian Anunnaki. They could fly. You know, they they lived 400,000 years according to the Sumerians. But Elohim is the word, they just made it a singular. They made
Yes,
it,
they did.
translated it
Yeah.
to God. In the beginning,
Yeah.
God. But it's not
Yeah.
God. God's. Not only that, Elohim, the way it was spelt, includes females. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
same as, like, man is one man. It's just me. But mankind includes women.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what Elohim is. Elohim is like the deity race. So
Well,
that's
HUIM is a plural, right?
I am. Yeah. But
I
yeah,
am. It's a plural. Yeah.
and I am is in us and you, and it actually connects us all.
Mhm.
You know, that light. That's why they wanted to take the light away, because we're at the
Mhm.
end. 30 is the day. You know, that's their date.
Their Agenda
goal.
2030.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20, you're going to be happy. So we know how long we have.
Yeah. Well, I haven't eaten any bugs. Have you? No
We
bugs.
we might be eating them and don't know it, because they changed the words to Latin. Like Vatican comes from the Latin words "vatis can." And it doesn't mean, like, Vatican only sounds like the Latin "vatis can," but "vatis
Okay.
can" literally means in English "divining serpent."
Oh,
Now, I've had this conversation with the church group too,
interesting. Very
And I-
interesting.
and I said, "So who is the divining serpent?" And you look at the Vatican, and in his big cathedral, it looks like a snake. Then you've got
Yes.
this demon coming out. Like, this is
Yeah.
almost a scary sculpture.
It's
That's
there.
the
It's really
Yeah.
scary looking and big.
The divining serpent is the one who changed the Bible.
Ah,
So when I first started researching this, I was pretty scared, because I saw the power that they had over us, the power to change it. I mean, three times in the Bible, it says not to change one word, don't add one word, don't subtract one word.
Mm.
And every version that we have, New International Version, the
Yeah.
easy to read version, those are all violating those. And it was said 3 times not to do that. So why did we
Yeah.
do it?
yeah.
This is why I get excited. You can see why I get excited, because there's so much to discover.
Well, it's a history book
That's right.
because we long to know our origins. I mean, everybody is fascinated by, a discovery. We discovered there was maybe another race, or we have Neanderthals, right? And we know that we are related to Neanderthals because we mated with them. We know that. And then they discovered there was another race of people that we didn't know about until fairly recently. I forget what they were called. Do you know what I'm talking about? They only discovered it maybe 25 or 30 years ago. They found the remains of these people that were different from Neanderthals, and they weren't human. They were oh gosh, it'll come to me after the show. That's when I will remember. But
Anunnaki or something.
no, the Anunnaki were those biblical mystical people that there's all kinds of mythology around the Anunnaki, eh?
Yeah.
That they weren't human, that they were
Well, they
that
were- They were like higher beings. They lived
Yeah.
over 400,000 years. So they have very long lives. They don't
Mhm.
like being here because they age here like us. But this
Mhm.
was the environment created. The Bible tells me everything right in the Genesis that nobody really figured out. Because what it does tell us is we're in water before we were made in their image, because they made us like them. Like they can't make us look like God, because if God is light inside of us, that's one. And so we're in water, and what we were before we were changed is never been revealed to us. I have no idea, but I do know in the womb we're in water.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
when we were born into water, but it's living water. This is, and water is an element of God. The material form of God is water. And but
They're,
you have
and
to,
they're always saying to watch the water. Do you notice that?
yeah. But in Buddhism, it gives us 8 material forms of God, and one is water. The other
Yes.
is earth.
Yes.
Earth and fire.
Fire.
I love that book. I love that
Elements.
book. I do it. I mean, they all fascinate me because they just all kind of like I said, it's like a painting, and they're all a color, and it
Yeah.
just makes it more clear. But what we were is unknown. What we look like is unknown. We might have been better. We might have been cuter. We might have been.
We might have been changed. We might have.
We were.
You
Well,
know,
we were changed
Yeah.
by the people that came here, and they came here for the gold to
For the
repair.
gold. That's
And
the
what-
Anunnaki myth.
But the
Yeah.
Sumerian tablets is probably the most believable of all books because they admit to making mistakes. That
Yes.
to me, it's honesty.
Yeah.
You know, someone with ego won't admit to their mistakes. So
No.
they admit to making our arms too long and then too short. So they had to keep changing the recipe.
Right.
So they
Well,
had us-
remember those Egyptians with the very long, elongated heads? And
Yeah.
and there have been varying explanations about why they were like that. They were diseased. It was a genetic disease, but no, because they've been found all over the world. And long arms, very elongated arms.
I know, isn't it fast?
So they were prototypes that didn't work out very well.
But now you know why it's my favorite topic. Because
Oh, it's fascinating. Yeah,
It is. But I mean, in the end, we don't have to look for God. He's right there. He's right here. He is. I am. I wouldn't even, I don't even like putting a sex to God. I don't think that's possible. I think he's too complex to be a he or a she. As water, I don't think water is feminine or masculine.
Right.
And one forms, I mean, I think it's a default go-to. But I mean, when I found a woman, I was scared. When I found a rewatch and I found she was a woman, she was the one that made us in their image, and that aligns with the Sumerian tablets. It was a woman who changed. So it's like, holy smokes. Now they go together. As soon as I translated, they suddenly merged. They the same story all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about researching, is that if you don't have the love, you're not going to look deep enough. And God does help. God does help. My faith, absolutely, God's very participatory. And that doesn't mean I'm a holy man. I don't consider myself a holy man. I consider all mankind holy, good or bad. We all have that light inside of us that makes us a part of it. And I think bad is necessary too. Because
Absolutely.
a bad relationship can teach us something we didn't know before. So I think they all have this place, like yin and yang, and like the devil. I mean, the devil couldn't be the god of this world unless he was appointed. He was given that role. So God, I don't really see the devil as a bad guy. I see him as the one that loves God more than most people. And he doesn't think we deserve God. He thinks we're unworthy. That's when Job, he kept saying, look, okay, I'm going to test him again. I'm going to test him again. I'm going to kill his farm animals. I'm going to kill his family, and to test his faith. Now, Job passed all of that, but that's his role. He's like the crown attorney trying to give you life in jail, because he doesn't think you're worthy of freedom.
Yeah.
But so the devil is very complicated. I wouldn't say the devil is a part of all this that's happening. The mRNA, this is the Rothschilds. I think these are bad people.
Yeah,
They may
but
worship,
they're
they
bad
may
people.
worship Satan, but they're fools to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're not to worship Satan or Jesus or Muhammad. We're supposed to worship our Creator alone, and learn from everything. Like we have to learn from what Jesus said. What his teachings were very wise. He spoke in parables, but he was still. They, a lot of their churches just forget that he said it was you that healed yourself. They forget.
Yeah.
They just overlook it, but they're hurting their own flock. Their congregations, and they deserve to know the truth, which is why I have the name the Truth Table.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I knew we were going to start talking about God.
And this is, and well, truth is got to be talked about, right? We're trying to bring the truth to people.
We shouldn't have anything but, really. I don't understand why we don't not have truth.
Yeah. We're in like the truth crowd, but you have to say put the .com together when you post anything. So you have to be like, you have to go around search it,
manipulate and do the dance.
And 10 years ago, we would have never imagined this.
No, none of this. None of this.
There should be a law where you have to tell the truth.
Yeah, but then you have to find the truth first. I mean, how can you tell the truth if you don't know what's true?
Well,
We have-
okay, find and tell. That's right.
So we have truth collars that electrocute us when we lie, like dogs that bark.
Yeah, but those are simple lies,
Yeah.
Did you go out of your house at 3 a.m. and steal your neighbor's garbage can? Did you or did you not? That's pretty straightforward because we've got it on camera. But I mean, that's easy to determine. But there are so many truths that are floating around in the world, in terms of ontological truths and spiritual truths and what's the right thing to do. And is the school board telling you the truth when they tell you you're going to be suspended? Your child is going to be suspended for up to 90 days because, you're not getting vaccinated. So where's the truth in that? There is none. That's not the truth. But they're doing it anyway. They're lying to people. I'm on a rant right now because that's what we're dealing with is the school board and all the parents that are having hysterics because their children, 5-year-olds and 7-year-olds, are being suspended for 20 days. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And they're doing that in conjunction with our public health agency that is supposed to be protecting children.
Yeah.
The public health should have no involvement in schools at all.
I agree.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. And the public health agency is not a branch of the government, by the way.
No.
It's an NGO.
That's right.
It takes its orders from WHO and the globalists. It's a One Health kind of agency. And the reason that they're insisting that parents turn over their vaccine records to public health is so they'll have the data. They'll have all these children's data.
They're harvesting data.
They're harvesting.
Yep.
And we should be protected. Under common law, we're protected. We don't have to reveal that information. But if we don't, our children will get suspended. And that's unlawful. So that's the battle we're doing right now. Sorry, Paul?
I'm just going to put this in on the side just so people can pause and read it. My translations. This is like a second page.
Cool.
Yeah, so Shanaim translate as dome, steel vault, and firmament.
Oh.
So that's what they don't tell you. They say firmament, right? But translators call it a dome and a steel vault, like impenetrable. So as I dug deeper, I was finding expansive, what it could mean. because we have a lot of words that can mean multiple things. But these are the three words that came out of Shinean: dome, steel vault, and firmament. So I put them all there.
Yeah,
How-
firmament. What is that? The firmament. I mean, that's what our Bible says. The firmament.
Well, yeah, the United States. I'm not sure if it was Obama, but they called it Operation Fishbowl, where they exploded nukes in the firmament, trying to break through. But if they would have done that, if they would have destroyed it, broke through, we would have drowned. We would have had a second Noah, because the water would come in, because there's water above there, which is why our sky is blue, because there's water. Okay, I'm gonna pause it here. Genesis 1, 2, and 3. Vohu bohu, emptiness, void, waste. Ruach. Here we go. Feminine noun, also known as the goddess of wisdom, the queen of heaven, Sophia, and the virgin goddess. How freaking cool is that?
Wow. Yeah. So
isn't that incredible?
mhm.
I mean, that stuff gets me so excited. I found a girl. And she's awesome. But yeah, I'll
I
try
thought
to.
she came from Adam's rib. Wasn't that the story we were told?
Well, that's Adam and Eve. But yeah, that's a whole different
Yeah,
thing.
there were no women. Well, maybe there were. There was that other woman. What was her name? Lilith. Lilith.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, the first bride. Yeah, but she was an equal, so she didn't like being under him. But I mean, they were like 15 feet tall. I mean, these people were huge. But here I have the New King James Version, the Talmud version, and then my translation. But that's what I did. I looked everywhere. See, I wanted to know what everyone had to say, and put it down there, and share it, whether it gets me killed or not. I just don't care. There's no fear. I'm fearless when it comes to that, because it's like it's like diamonds, it's so precious.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I said diamonds, but I know girls
said
like
diamonds.
I have no diamonds, I swear. But precious is gold. And and that's where it all began, really. It all began with that. And because I want the truth, and I prayed about it, and lo and behold, I found truth that did scare me at first, but not anymore.
Are you
Doesn't scare
still
me.
translating? Are you still working on that?
I haven't. No, I started doing this podcast, but I think God gave me what I needed. You know what I mean?
Okay. You got your answers. Yeah.
I got the answer, because now it goes with everything else.
Yeah.
Now they all work together now. I found the lie that was important, and the deception. I mean, right away, Genesis 1:1. I mean, the first verse was a lie.
Right.
And
Yeah.
a huge one, and then hiding the girl Ruach. But
Mhm.
what a beautiful find that was. I mean, what a beautiful. I mean, I was just so excited and just elated, because she's known as the goddess of wisdom. Goddess
Wow.
of wisdom. What a beautiful title, eh? Like
And
you
what
two
did-
are like goddesses of wisdom.
Are we? Oh,
Yeah, you didn't know
I
that?
wish. I wish.
No, but you are definitely, because you care about babies right now that aren't even yours. You
Yes.
care about babies that aren't yours. You don't have any responsibility to these babies.
No,
And-
but they're the destiny of humanity.
And the future. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
we have to care. We have to care. Somebody cared about my babies for me at different times, So it's my turn to care. It's our turn. It's our turn to give back.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I
But
mean,
we're-
all you can do, Paul, is do what you're driven to do, what is best, what you think is best, and
What your purpose is.
hope
Yeah.
that you provide a good model
Mhm.
that somebody else will be buoyed up by what you've tried to do, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that's the way we relay into the future, you know? I mean, I'm sure we can all give examples of people that throughout our lifetime, we've really admired the way that they've operated. Maybe we've admired their honesty or their flair or, you know, admired them for certain physical characteristics, but admired them for the package that they were. And then you try yourself to emulate that a little bit,
Mhm.
you know?
But in the end days, the truth does come out that, you know, it's like a spiritual flooding, and we're a part of that. And I'm happy
Yeah.
to be a part of it. I don't think I'm any more special than the next person, but I embrace, and I just love that I'm able to be a part of it. You know, I feel
Mhm.
honored and humble, you know, honored and humbled. And I'm just
Yes.
glad that God gave me the answers I needed before this happened, you know, because
Yeah.
I found out
Yeah.
before.
Because you were prepared. You're prepared. And it's, you know, people will say, you know, I get a question every now and then from family members, why are you doing this? and
I'm
I
a
can't
God
give
of
them.
wisdom. I'm
Well,
a
stay
God of
tuned.
wisdom.
Maybe
Can you hear?
the
I'm
chosen,
sorry.
the chosen one. There you go. We're all the chosen ones.
Oh.
Oh, my
You know,
hearing.
one of the beautiful thing that I love is making you laugh, making people laugh, because
I think that's so important, Paul.
like physically, you can heal someone with laughter.
You
You
can.
your
Absolutely.
body heals itself. I mean, that's why they got rid of bells, because bells aligned our chakras and got our bodies, 100%. So
Yes.
we could,
The vibration, the healing of the vibration.
and then we could heal ourselves. So
Yeah.
they got rid
Yeah.
of them. They got rid of them. They changed the frequency of music. They use technology in the television. It's terrible.
Yes. Yes. And blue light.
And blue
Blue
light.
light is killing
Blue
us.
light. Yes. I actually removed blue from my monitor. You can do it.
Yeah.
Can you?
Adjust your. Yeah, I took
You
the blue
follow
out of my
sudden?
monitor. Yeah, and it's good to
Yeah.
have a red light, but you want incandescent red light.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
want
Not
LED.
not an LED.
No, you got to get rid of all the LEDs.
Yeah. You
Isn't
know
that
what?
terrible?
I
And they
went
tried.
on a,
What's
They
that?
tried to ban incandescent lights.
well, that was Obama
Yeah,
to get rid of them all because the LEDs are so unhealthy for us.
Yes.
They wear us down.
but
So
it's more evidence of a
Sorry.
war against us. There's a war against us on all levels, like all sorts of levels that we didn't even see coming. We thought we were saving the planet,
Mhm.
but our electricity bills didn't go down much.
Yeah.
It was
No,
all
we
fake promises.
We shouldn't even be paying for electricity. We should be
No,
generating
no.
it, getting it from the ether,
Yeah.
which they
Well,
took
there's
away
the-
from the periodic table.
Yes. Good call. And there's a guy in Africa who
Mhm.
invented EV that can power your house. Never needs to be charged. Like it uses frequencies in the air.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
Well,
And-
that's what
and-
Tesla figured out,
The
wasn't it?
higher you go, the more electricity there is.
And the beauty, 14,000 is what they cost. 14,000.
Really?
Never have to charge them. Yeah, I posted it. I posted it on my Facebook. But he
Where can you
showed
get one?
he showed it to the king. He showed it to the king of his country. Let's see if I can't. Yes, I
Which
should be able to share this. Here it is. 14,000.
Okay. Oh yes, I remember
Self-powered.
this.
I talked about it on another show, but I mean, the more exposure, the more protection he has because it's out there. You can't. This thing
Yeah.
will charge your house. it can charge your house. So what does that mean? No more electricity bills.
That's right.
That technology, he has it in smaller versions where you can attach it to your television, so you don't have to plug your television in, like a mobile kind of attachment.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. And of course, the president of, I'm not sure what country he lives in, somewhere in Africa, but and they don't implode or catch on fire like Teslas.
Is the energy having to be stored in a vessel like a battery?
Yeah, I'll send you the link because you
Send me the
definitely
link. I'd like to read it.
Yeah,
It's
that sounds
fascinating.
interesting.
absolutely. I recommend
I just-
everyone to watch it. I posted it, the link on my last podcast, because it's just so amazing. I mean, we could have a renaissance. Just imagine.
Absolutely,
Because
if it's allowed. But you know, Paul, there's so many things that have been invented over time, cures for horrible diseases,
Yep.
cancer, tuberculosis, other things
Mhm.
that have been covered up. And
there's 70,000 employees at the Cancer Institute, so a lot of
Yeah.
jobs could get lost.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's hope Elon, because I think this will help pry open the third eye in people what Elon is doing. So even though they may be in a bad being, maybe they're the bad guy, they're still necessary. They're still part of what must happen before, the end.
Mhm.
The end is the beginning, because then we don't die. There's no more death. I get a brand new face, probably black hair again. But I'm not going to lose my charm or my character or my piano skills, hopefully.
Oh, good.
Now, when this is over, I can go back to playing piano
That would be nice.
and do what I
That
love
would-
the most. Because
That would be nice.
I like to just be in the background. I want to be behind the curtain playing the piano. Where's that coming from? I want to be the elevator music when you go from one floor to the other. I want to be in behind. I don't want to be famous. I just want to participate,
And people will be flocking to the elevators to become healed.
I
By
am
your
100%. I'm absolutely no profit. Like, my music is free to hear. There's no charge, no subscriptions. You can't subscribe to me. You can just listen for free. And that to me is from God. God wants me humble. I'm most effective humble.
Most of us are.
Doing this show was hard on me. I don't want to do this, but I just felt I was launched into it by, of all people, Kellyanne Wolf, who said,
Wow.
yeah, can you believe that? But she started a podcast like this. It was The Unbearable Truth or something, and asked me to be a part of it. And then she just kind of left. So she was gone. So I just faked my way through it.
Carried on.
Then I changed it to The Truth Table. It was The Offensive Truth. And she just left, really. She does her own thing, but she believed in me, and that was enough for me to continue.
Okay.
And then it was just, there was no plan. I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about the church and the God and what I know about that, and then it'll be it. I had a show on linen and wool.
And you were wearing linen for a long time.
I have a full linen outfit. I mean, even the underwear, linen. I got the full thing. I want to walk out there in my bare feet and just be on. So you saw that one. You saw that show?
Yes, that was the one I saw.
But
and you were bragging about your linen. And I thought, oh my God, linen gets so wrinkled. It looks so unkept.
Oh my
It feels so good on though.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it feels so good.
the air flows really nicely through it, keeps your body air,
Yeah.
fresh. I do love it. And hello, Kirk. There's a frequent guest. You must, Kirk Reese, a ranger.
Yeah.
Whistleblower. I think he's been
Yeah.
on like 5 shows already.
Has he?
12-inch
On the
piano.
food table?
Yes. Could we
Ah.
get a piano on your boat? If we get a piano on your boat, he bought a boat from the Eagles. Can you believe that? I love that band.
Wow. Cool.
California. So Joe Walsh sold it to him. So he's got Joe Walsh's boat. It's like, I got to
Oh my
go play the Eagles. Or did I say the Eagles?
Yeah, the Eagle.
Joe
Yeah,
Walsh.
Yeah.
So he bought it off him. And then I met him. And it's like, there's no way you own that boat. And he's invited me to the boat. He's invited me, and I want to go to the boat.
You and your piano. You and your keyboard.
How are you going to bring your
But-
piano?
I don't want to sink the boat with a big grand piano. But he's in Bella, Vancouver. He's far away. He's a long
Oh,
swim.
that's way up
Oh.
north, too.
Yeah,
Bella.
yeah.
That's almost to Alaska, isn't it?
Yep. And he's tried so hard to get his story out because the corruption he found went right up to Trudeau. So there's no way they would let him, eh?
Wow. Wow.
A lot of my shows is there's a lot of whistleblowing and
Has he
One of
written
them-
it down, though?
this Sunday is going to be an Army veteran from Canadian Army veteran.
Okay.
He's on this Sunday, and
Who's that?
Salgave Peck, but he's regular commenter. He watches a lot of shows too. But I look forward to that show. He's very wise. He has a lot of wisdom, which is why I love having him on the show about things that we don't even notice, like the flag being removed from our courtrooms. So once
Okay.
they remove flags, they no longer have, that jurisdiction, or they're no longer under the flag, under the rules of the flag.
The rule.
they-
Yeah.
They're under the corporation.
We have to replace everybody. We have to
We have
replace
to
our
replace
government.
Yeah. And we have to dig deep to find out what we actually are. Are we even a country? We know we're a corporation. We know all
Yeah.
the cities that are corporations.
Yeah.
We have to figure out what our status is, because
Mhm.
we don't even know how to go forward if we're not a country. We're just a dominion, or not even that. Remember when Canada was just a dominion? I can remember. Well, you won't remember, but I do.
And I don't
Um,
think the charter was even ratified, so it's not official.
It's
It
not
needs to be
ratified. No. No.
Oh, Jennifer, our beautiful friend Jennifer is with us. Hi, Jennifer. She said
Which
hello.
Jennifer? There are many
Jennifer.
Jennifers. Yeah.
Marcoux?
Marcoux. Oh,
Okay.
Jen. Hi, Jen.
What is that? Tell them why. Tell them why the wants me to tell you why the boat will sink if I have a grand piano on your boat. That's what you want me to tell them. No, he wants me to tell about the whistleblowing. I think we're due for another show, but I don't know if we can do much with just this show. We almost need a legal team, Kirk.
But has he written down all of this? Like, has he recorded?
He's got a stack of paperwork.
Okay.
He's gone. He did the right thing. He went to his higher ups to make a complaint or to report, wrongdoing and corruption, and it just got shut down. So
Of course.
he's
Yeah.
showing us there's corruption in the RCMP, the Rangers, CSIS, the government, the judges. Salgave is showing that the judges are corrupt, removing the flag from the courtrooms, removing basically what's left of our rights. So we're
Yeah.
being dismantled as a country.
Dismantled.
And
Yeah.
mRNA is just to make us happy and shut up. If they can push
Yes.
a button using the 5G and everybody's yay today.
Yeah. Put us on Soma.
But if they can do it, If they can do it remotely, why not? What a perfect tool for a tyrant, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's ultimate control. If you
And
can get into a mind and just dictate how it thinks and how
make
it
them happy.
behaves.
And this is
Yeah.
across earth, across God's earth, all God's children. Anyone who fell for the phony baloney, non-isolated virus was never isolated or purified. So it
They've
was a big
never
fat
isolated any virus
no,
ever.
No. So
That's
Nobody
that's-
catches the virus. In my opinion, I don't think there is a virus. I just think that we're feeling effects from 5G, and that's what it is. That's all the effects from the 5G.
yes, the
And
frequencies,
if
the
we got
Wi-Fi.
rid of Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
and we need
Yeah.
to get rid of the 5G, and that
Yep.
should be another thing that we, as Mamabears,
Mom-
have to work on
and-
too.
Yeah.
Is the 5G needs to go.
Yeah. And
All the
we've
towers need to
written
go.
about it. We've posted about it. But until it raises enough alarm in enough people, nothing happens. You know, it's like this. I'm going back to it, but all of a sudden parents have got letters telling them their kids are going to be suspended. But up until that point,
Mhm.
it was la la land. Nobody thought about
Yeah.
it. And now they're on a campaign because, as we know, the WHO has had a hard time getting a hold of countries and getting them to sign on to their treaty.
Yeah.
So this is how they're doing it now. They're doing it through the agencies instead of getting countries themselves to sign a treaty. Yeah, it's nefarious.
I will share a secret. 1 drop of iodine.
Yeah.
I use my alkaline water.
Yeah.
Preferable distilled water, but 1 drop a day will help fight against. It will protect your gland. That
Your thyroid.
Thyroid, yeah.
Yeah.
it will protect your thyroid from the radiation from the Wi-Fi and the smartphones and or the smart meter. Everything smart is not smart. It's funny how
No,
they
it's
work.
not.
Isn't it?
See how
Again,
how they
opposites.
work. Everything's
Opposite
opposite.
meaning. Yeah.
They know the power of the word.
That's
You know,
right. It's all spelling.
Disinformation really means the truth that's not comfortable for the government. So it's not a lie, disinformation. And Trudeau said he rolls off his tongue every chance he gets. Misinformation, disinformation.
Right.
You can be wrong, and that would be considered misinformation. But I mean, we have the right to be wrong. I mean, we can make mistakes,
Mhm.
So it's not a crime to be wrong. But so 1 drop of iodine, I do it. I do the iodine. But I mean, I'm also taking ginseng and just cream just to get the stupid look off my face. And I did it again.
Oh, it's a remedy
It's
for
not
that.
working, man. It's not working. See, I love doing that. I treasure. If I can make someone laugh, it brings me so much joy. It really does. Because I know I'm healing you against your will. Just like in background music.
Well,
It's like
good.
But
We
that's
deserve it.
But we
Right?
that's
We all.
we have our
Sorry.
weapons. Our weapons are good weapons.
Yes. I went to see a comedian a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's the first time I've laughed for over an hour, just nonstop, in the last 4 years. We
Yeah.
forgot how to laugh.
But
It
that's why
releases the happy hormones, which
Yes.
we all need.
Endorphins.
Yeah, the dose: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins.
and the woke people were going after the comedians every chance they can.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it heals, because of the healing properties, eh?
Yeah,
That's right.
Oh, he's a misogynist. Cancel that show.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
because we're near the end, And the beauty of being near the end is that it's going to stop all of it.
We're supposed to be going into the golden age, correct?
The golden age starts officially March 21st, 2025,
Oh,
next month.
next month. I'm looking forward to it. I'm already in my golden age, though.
It's the day. But I mean, it took a lot of research to find that out because it's not common knowledge, but you're going to get the truth here. If I know something, I'm gonna open my big mouth and tell you.
Yeah, if we can't come to your table and get the truth, where can we go?
But
I mean,
you could all-
really.
we could all sit at this table, but I would need multiple. Like if I had cameras, I could do in studio. But I don't have the cameras, so this is the best way really to stream, and that way you don't have to leave your home and that sort of thing.
Yeah, especially in this weather.
Yeah, it's pretty snowy.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Nice
it's so
day.
cold. It's
It's
colder in the last few years.
it's been Quebec weather when I grew up in. This was
Yeah.
the way it was all winter. It's like
Yeah,
a
it's
throwback.
colder. I remember the last couple of years. This is the coldest.
Paul, are you recording this? Do you record this?
Yeah, so I record it. It's live on Facebook. It's
Okay.
live. It's live on YouTube, and then when it's done, I download it, and then I put it on Rumble and X,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
share them. I
And you
share
share
them with the download.
Okay.
I don't get. I didn't get a premium X account, so
Okay.
I can't stream directly. They let me for a while and then they stopped. They wouldn't let me do it anymore until I
Oh.
get a premium account, and that's not going to happen.
No. Well, that's a few bucks, isn't it? You have to.
Yeah, you can just post it. Just post it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's free. I'm lucky. I can't believe Facebook allows me because
Mm-hmm.
if I typed it out and posted it, I would have been in prison, in Facebook jail. So that we get a lot of latitude by doing streams.
Yes.
And-
You do. Yeah.
Yes. It's a workaround, isn't it?
But until February 27th, I'm going to have a lot of different candidates that are running in Ontario.
Oh, are you? Are you?
Yeah.
Are you getting any of the new blue or?
A lot of new blue.
Oh,
Rob
yeah,
Adel-
good.
Rob,
Rob
have you,
from
have
St.
you had
Catharines?
Rob already?
Rob was
okay.
on a few days
Good
ago.
stuff.
Yeah.
And Jean oh my God, Dumoulin.
Dumali? Yeah.
Yeah, we know him from Peters. But he was on last night.
Oh,
Okay.
I opened every day until the election just to get as many candidates as I can. Like next
Oh,
Friday, Libertarian Party, the leader of the Libertarian Party,
Mhm.
and a few candidates. I mean, they've never gotten a seat, but still, I like the platform. I ran as a Libertarian,
okay.
and so, if they get a seat, that would be awesome. This is
Would be.
the voice of liberty and the new blue. These voices need to get in the legislature.
Yeah, they do.
We're kind of in a bad situation in the parliament too. I mean, they all voted to mutilate children without parental consent. All 338. Not one of them voted against it.
No,
And
no.
blue
No.
Co-founder Belinda Karahalios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she's the only one that voted against Bill 67, which was to give police powers to bureaucrats against children who wrong think.
Oh,
Critical race theory, it's called. So
Wow.
they could punish children, usurping parental rights. But they all voted. She got kicked out of the party for it.
I remember that.
She was the only one.
Yes.
That's
So where-
terrifying. That means all of them are bad. Except
They right.
Belinda.
Where are their conscience? What they don't have any conscience.
Or they're nothing. reading and they're getting financial incentives to say yes and no. I mean,
Yeah,
that's very possible. They can be bought, I'm sure.
yeah.
Look at the poison in our food. How did that happen?
Bribery and blackmail.
And when you sit at your kitchen table, when you're preparing meals for your family, I mean, is arsenic on the table? You know, it's just ridiculous. It's that ridiculous to me. And they're manipulating us by changing what it is, like crickets. They're using Latin to confuse
yeah.
us. Same as the Vatican did, is they use
Yeah.
Latin to confuse us. They just use
Yeah.
a word that sounds like Vatican.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're not going to get manipulated by us three, because we're about the truth and we know how important it is, and we're not going to put up with it. We're going to let people know there's poison in the food. There's poison in children's cereal. It's not acceptable. Everyone in that legislature is okay with that. It's not okay with us. So they don't represent us, and they haven't for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the bribery. It's all about the money. It's all about who's, palm gets crossed with silver. It's,
Yeah.
and people will be led to do anything to go after that.
And I think you have to confront them and you have to ask them, are you or are you going to be bought, bribed, or blackmailed? And if you are, then we don't want you and we don't want to vote you in and we have no use for you.
The problem is the party system, though. You get into a party, you have all the good intentions. I'm not saying everybody does going in, but I think a lot of people have good intentions, don't think that they can be swayed. And once you're in the party, some of the rot and corruption that I've heard about when people are introduced into the party, they win there for the first time and they're introduced into the party. Some terrible things that go on there. And I'm not going to talk about them, but
someone would come and whisper in their ear, the handlers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And say, vote for this, And that's why she got thrown out of the Conservative Party, because she went against the vote.
The party.
But if she wouldn't have, it would have never been brought to our attention. We may have never even known it was being happened.
Known. Yeah.
It's just when the kids are in the school, they lock the doors. Parents can't just walk in.
Not anymore.
But I think in today's day, the parents should have cameras on their kids. It's that bad. You never know what's going on in there, because they've got a lot of really woke teachers, and it only takes one class a day, one teacher a day to be woke, to get those ideas, and because they're so impressionable. What a sin, eh?
Yeah, but you have no idea how that has come down from the top. That our educational institution is no longer an institution that we have any kind of control over whatsoever. Our trustees have no control. It's dominated by globalist theories. It's dominated by these two, the critical race that you talked about, and the Soji. You know what I'm talking about when I say Soji, this idea that you can be born in the wrong body, and early childhood sexual education, which is just a disgusting path towards predatory behavior and pedophilia.
They're immigrating people who are okay with that. Like a lot of, I'm not saying all, but I'm saying it's very common in India, Muslim Indian males to have sex with little boys.
Yep.
And they don't, and they even still consider themselves holy, because they have the Quran and they follow the Quran, but for some reason they just overlook that. They don't see it as cheating on their wives, or you know what I mean? It's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So
That's not Canadian culture. That's not Canadian culture.
No.
And it shouldn't even be here.
This is why they're sexualizing the children, to prepare for the changing of the guard, the harmonizing of our cultures. And it's horrible. It's a nightmare for anyone who wants to protect their children, because really their hands have been put behind their back. You can't do anything.
You can't
try-
do anything. You
Throw
can't
in
meet.
jail.
You can't meet with the board.
Yep.
It's like they've got their castle. There's a big moat in between. Then the bridge is up. You
That's-
can't call them. You can't email them. You can't speak to them personally.
That's why it has to be decentralized. Education
Yeah.
has to be,
Mhm.
it cannot be global,
Yeah.
under global rule. It cannot be under national rule. It has to be local.
Yeah,
You know?
because I know we have mechanics, we have carpenters, architects that could create curriculums.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
We can-
Absolutely.
Parents are doing it.
Yeah, and children should be able to go to a different, class for carpentry, a class for different careers to
Like,
explore,
Yep. Yep.
to explore and find out where they want to be. I mean, they should be able to have their apprenticeship when they graduate high school. They shouldn't even have university, because you can find out where they're excel at a very young age.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
They're a lot smarter. I mean, they're geniuses when they go into school, and then they're not
They-
when they leave school.
Then they're not.
Yeah.
No, because they get that inquiry knocked out of them.
They're
we're not set up.
impotential.
Inquiry and creativity.
Yeah. You know that, I mean, you know that when education was begun, public education, it was just to create good little workers. You know, the John Dewey, that it was get people so that they can go right into a job and take, take instruction and do a
Yeah.
job well
And not question.
and not question anything.
Right.
So, you know,
What to think, not how to
critical,
think.
classical learning, inquiry, you know, what makes this happen. I mean, I taught art in school. So art was different. Art was problem solving, art was creativity. So it was foreign to what the rest of the curriculum was like.
Mhm.
And I took great delight in teaching kids how to problem solve, weigh things up, make critical decisions, and then apply it to their art. You know,
Yes,
which was the problem.
No, we can
Yeah.
do much better. We can do much better. Politics should be taught. If there's 18 registered parties, we should go through all 18. We
Mhm.
should also, like with the liberals, we should say, you know, this is their platform, but this is what they did. You know what I mean? We need to educate them on the fact that they lied to us and they
Yeah.
hurt us. That should be part of the curriculum. You know, the truth.
Yeah.
The Conservative Party, what they used to be and what they are now. They're, you know,
Exactly.
instead of doing the right thing, shutting down the borders from this mass flood of
Mhm.
drugs and everything, he just wants to pull the liquor from the shelves. That's Doug Ford is so unstatesman because Americans are our friends, they're our neighbors, they're not
That's
our
right.
enemies. And us putting tariffs on America just makes American goods more expensive for us. So
Yeah.
tariffs hurt us. They don't hurt America. You know what I mean?
They
it
do
makes it
hurt.
more
They'll hurt the
expensive
American public, like
The
they'll hurt us.
Yes,
Yeah.
it makes it more expensive for them, but it makes it more expensive for us to buy their products.
Mhm.
So we're not punishing so much the states. They're making more of a carbon tax for us. They're just adding to our weight of expense. You know,
They're just
Exactly.
exposing.
pulling their
Exposing.
products from the shelves is just like a jealous girlfriend want to destroy your house. You know, and that's just
Yeah.
absolutely irresponsible, unstatesmanlike. Doug Ford just is so embarrassing. He's like, he should never be in power again. He does not belong there. He's a threat to us. You know, this retaliatory baloney with our friends. I
Yeah.
consider them our friends, our neighbors. I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drag me
So, but that's
any
another
different,
story.
but the same thing.
None of them are any different. That's the problem. You know, we have no trust in our politicians whatsoever. But, you know, we've divorced ourselves from our government. We get frustrated with them and then we don't participate and we don't run.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
landlord doesn't vote. They don't vote
No,
because
no,
they
I know.
feel disenfranchised. They figure it just doesn't matter. And it
It
kind of
doesn't matter.
it's true.
Yeah.
With Dominion voting machines, they can hack them and make anyone win no matter who we vote for. And then they destroy all the evidence.
Yeah.
So there's no recounting of the ballots. They destroy the evidence. So
Yeah.
is that not obviously criminal? And so we really don't have elections. It's just a big game they play with us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's going to bounce from liberals to conservatives to liberals to conservative. So we have a better version with the conservatives.
Mhm. Mhm.
Better than the freaking fragging liberal psychopaths. Disinformation, misinformation. But another thing that could be taught in school, I would think, is all the religions.
Mhm.
Talk about
Mhm.
each religion. What do they talk about? What are their stories? But
Yeah.
also, I would like to see the Bible retranslated correctly. I think
Yeah.
that's a big problem for me. And
Yeah.
I've had fights. I had fights, but I had to show my evidence. With religious people, I say, I know this isn't going to be easy, but if you want to pray, you got to stop doing it in Jesus' name. Stop doing that. Be effective.
Mhm.
Pray effective. Talk. You can say, "Hi, God, you're awesome. Thanks for making my day. Thanks for making it so darn cold outside." God has a sense of humor too. He does. I mean, I'm here.
He has your sense of humor.
Yeah. I think God enjoys the laughter. When we laugh, I think God's laughing with us. He is enjoying it. He's very participatory. And as water, he lives in us, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Water. So
Yeah.
there's another thing about the Buddhism that really beautified my faith, because it brought the fact that water is a material element of God, and it's life-giving. It just fulfills all the we need water to live. There you go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
before we were made in his image, we were in water. So we
Yeah.
probably, and we were in darkness. So even though it
Yes.
doesn't really say it, we were in the abyss. So just imagine going deep into the ocean where it's just pitch black. That's where we were. So we probably
Mhm.
didn't even have eyes, or we didn't use them.
No, they were open.
So
Yeah.
it would have been very bizarre. But I like to think outside the box, because I really want to know, because they don't tell us what we were like before. They just say what happened to us, and that we look like the people that did this to us. So we know what they look like. So if they were to come here, we probably wouldn't, realize
No, maybe
they
not.
look like us. So they could walk right past us, and we wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
looking
you'd never
outside
be
the
able to
box,
corral them and ask them, why did you do this to us? What did
But
we do to deserve this?
but they had the technology we have now, if not more.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I want them to come back, because they're the only ones that have record of what we were before. They're
Mhm.
the only ones that could tell us, because there's
Yeah.
no information about that. It only starts after.
Yeah.
But what a great story. I mean, what a fascinating story. Like a mystery novel that, you have to find out for yourself. And
Yeah.
the best story of our lives. The most important thing to discover. And
Absolutely.
it's such a valuable thing to learn. That's why I would like to see, all political parties taught in school, all religions taught in school. No bias towards one or the other. It's just, this is what it says. That's it.
Yeah.
And it can be age appropriate. There are things in the Bible that aren't appropriate for young children, but there are things that are appropriate. And, that can be done as well. When the curriculum is made, it can be age effective. So,
Absolutely.
that's why I think we could do so much better, and utilize the actual potential of children. But, not injecting them with aluminum, for one. But if you don't inject them with aluminum, they will be a power to be reckoned with. They poison us because we're so powerful. Without the poison, we're a threat.
We're a threat.
But
Yeah.
they wouldn't do it. And they poison us our whole lives, and we're still here. And we can still critically think.
We're very adaptable, aren't we?
Yeah.
Very. Mhm. When you
So-
figure we've learned how to take aluminum and mercury and formaldehyde into our bodies and process it and get rid of it. Well,
Yep.
and live our lives. And who knows what else is in there.
We're in a constant healing process.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that I got off topic so much, but I had a feeling that would happen. Before we finish, I do want to talk about this screening, Vax 3,
Okay.
with the question and answer, so it's all fresh in everyone's mind. And it's Sunday, March the 30th, 1:30 p.m. And
Yeah.
at the Greg Fruin Theater, Niagara Falls here.
Yeah.
And tickets are $20. And there's 5 speakers. Byron
Byron Bridle, who was a whistleblower at the University of Guelph. He stood up and he spoke about, well, actually he discovered and uncovered and released the information that the injection does not stay at the site. The injection travels. Yeah. Yeah. And of course, before that, they were denying it. And he lost his job. He got locked out of his lab. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
this is biblical ending stuff.
yeah.
But we need to go like this. These are the Rainbow Warriors. Amanda Forbes.
Yeah. Yeah. Amanda was critical in helping make the movie.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Christina
Yeah.
as well.
And we have the director, Brian Burrows.
Brian Burrows. Yeah.
Burrows.
He's the Canadian director of the film.
But this is one of the things that you've done. Is there any other things happening between now and then or afterwards that you wanted to touch on before we stop?
There's nothing concrete right now. That we've got a couple of projects in the works, but we can't really talk about them because nothing is concrete. So,
well, I mean, if something happens, you can get to me and I will, talk about it or have you back on again. If you don't mind all the laughing and the giggling and that we do.
That's quite okay.
But
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing the information about our upcoming event. We really appreciate it. And we hope everybody will be able to make it and bring a friend or two.
Yeah. We'd love to have hundreds of people come.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. And it would put a little bit of money in our pockets so we could have subscriptions and we could do posters and we could mail out information.
We just want to bring the community together.
Yeah.
And to inform and educate and give them a forum to feel comfortable to ask questions and give us their story possibly too.
Where's Danko? Jennifer asks. Who's Danko?
The cat.
Where's Danko? Oh, we put him down. He wanted to say his piece, but
Is that a cat? Is that a cat?
Danko is my cat. Yeah.
He was clawing at my back for the longest time.
Yeah, he was clawing and meowing to get up here and be on the truth table.
Who's Danko?
He appears at every Zoom call I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He has to get up there and see what's going on and meow a bit.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Barb, Pat. I love you very much. My sisters, Rainbow Warriors. And if I can make it, I will try to come to the theater as well. And,
we'd love it. Please do.
I look forward to seeing you both again and wish you the best of everything in every day. And
thank you, Paul.
I appreciate it. Thank you all at home for watching and share the information if you can. And I hope to see you on the 30th of March after an election where the new blue wins.
Oh,
blue wins. We need seats. We really do. We need seats in the legislature. And we also need to spread as much knowledge as we can And that's, that's your part. That's my part. That's what we do. And I look
Yeah.
forward to seeing you both again. So have a great night.
Awesome.
And thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night. We'll see you
Cheerio.
soon.